Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Linda from lindaspapercraft.co.uk and we are in December 2025 and week 4 of our friendly foliage dies, and if memory serves me correctly, this is going live on Christmas Day. So not sure there'll be many actually doing it on Christmas Day. You never know. Right, so here we go. So this is the last card, and I have moved away from my favourite and I've just used all the leaf dies just to have a little play here. And this die is from the Wanted to Say dies. It is retired, unfortunately, but I do know I have actually done 2 coffee and cards using this, so I know most of my kit buyers, all of my kit buyers have got this, I've actually cut it out for you anyway if you've got the kits, but you know, some dies you just have to keep forever, and I think this is definitely one of the sets. It's a shame it went. Right, okay, so these are the dies we're using today. So we're using both of the stamped leaves, both of the open leaves, and then, as I say, and we're also using a stylish shapes die, which I haven't got the set out. They're still current and they're in the catalogue, so hopefully they'll be around for a little bit longer. We are looking at the 5.5 centimetre circle. Okay, I've already cut it for you if you have the kit. Okay, but if you don't, then you know which one to use. Right, and today, because I do classes, I do in-person classes in Sale in South Manchester, and I've got one coming up, so some of my inks are packed. So I'm using Mossy Meadow today instead of Old Olive, which I think they're very similar sort of hue, but their tones are different. This is a darker one, the Old Olive is lighter. Right, so pop that there. So I'll show you how I've done these. So what I've actually done, I've done the die cutting already. So you've got a 13.5 centimetre square card and appropriate envelope. And then you've got a piece. This is from the Christmas Traditions paper, which isn't available at the moment. Well, right, okay, wasn't available at the time of filming. It should be coming back in mid-December, so it should be back in. But just to say that the Christmas catalogue this year runs out on the 4th of January. So if you are watching on this, have a quick check of the last chance list to see if it's there if you're watching it after the 4th of January. So you may still be able to get a hold of it. It is amazing. So that is actually a 4-inch square, so that I could get 9 out of a pack, or out of a piece of 12 by 12. And then we've got a little piece of vertical stripes, and they are, again, we're in inches there. Oh no, we're not. So it's 2.5 centimetres, roughly an inch, by 12.5 centimetres. And then there should be another piece. There it is. So you'd expect it to be huge, but actually it's just butted up against that piece. So, and that is sort of 2.3, I think. 2.3 centimetres by just over 7.5. I suspect that might be an inch. I'll check before I put the measurements up. And then you've got your circle. And then, as I say, I've got a pile of die cuts here. So let's just get everything out if we can. Come on, little ones. Last one. There we go. So you've got a piece of green. Again, this is Old Olive, to cut to each of the open dies, which I've done, as you can see. And then your circle, your little bow, which is also from this. All of this is from the Christmas Traditions paper. And then I've cut out 2 small white leaves and 2 longer white leaves, and we're going to stamp those now. Excuse my hair. And I'm going to show you how to do that. If you're doing lots and lots of stamping and die cutting, the best way to do it, if you have a stamping platform, is this way. So I'm just going to put everything sort of out of the way. Let's bring in the stamps and my platform. Okay, put those there, then I can find them. So I'm just going to pop my stamps on now. When you've got a stalk like that, the best thing to do is just drop it, okay? Let it find itself, and then it's most likely to fit in. So I've just randomly put them anywhere, and I have kept my negative spaces for two, for the one for the long and one for the short. Okay, so just lift that up, put everything back in place again. Just lifted that paper, so can I get that between the two? For now I can. Right, green ink. So as I say, we're using Mossy Meadow here, so just stamp your leaves once. Oh, I'm going to sneeze, excuse me. Oh, lordy me. Sorry about that. Okay, and pop that for now away. And I'm using my die tape again. So you just need to find the front of your die cuts, and you're going to line them up and stick them down. So probably need to look through my light to get this in the right place. I'm happy with that, so I am sticking that down to my paper, and then I'm going to do the same. Pop that off for now in there. So I'm just lining that up, and you see, because I dropped the stamp in place, it's following the stalk perfectly, which is what you want. Another piece of die tape to hold that down. Okay, and now I am going to put my cutouts in place. I think I'm going to just going to put another piece on. So it's belts and bases, as my granddad would say. Right, okay, so we're now going to put one of the long pieces just in the hole, comme ça, and one of the little pieces just in the hole, like that. Ink up your stamps and stamp, and you will get beautifully centered images. There we go. Oh, it's still in. Oh look, where is that? It's still in the hole. So let's just get this, and we're just going to come and pop that one out, and pop this one that wants to go underneath for its own weird reason. It really wants to go underneath. I have never had one that do this before. How bizarre. There we are. And I think it might have been slightly underneath my template because it is very slightly off on the top there, but certainly close enough for me. Okay. And then repeat with the other two. So you've got all four, and you've not had to line them up at all, other than lining up the original piece. Right, so stamp again. There we go. Yeah, that's better. I think it had gone underneath. So let's just clean these off. Obviously, if you don't have a stamping platform, then you can just stamp and die cut like you would normally. It does make things a little bit easier this way, I feel. Right, I'll sort that out in a minute. Okay, so now I just need to stamp my sentiment on the circle, and I just did it. I'm using the Here For You Always, and I just popped that at the end, sort of off to one side. Here for you always, and just down and up. There we are. It's always worth giving the stamp a few seconds just to transfer the ink across to your card. Okay, and we're now just going to pop all that together. So I'm going to start with, I'm not going to be sticking to that card, I'm going to be sticking to this card. Right, so I'm going to start with the card the correct way around and just sort of just under 1 centimetre away from that edge. Okay, She managed to get ink on me. That's a sign of a proper crafting session. Okay, so centrally, vertically, and about sort of just less than a centimetre away. Probably closer. There we go. And just before it properly dries, just check. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, so then we're going to put this one next to it. Just seems a shame to be covering up this beautiful paper, but as I thought, we're not doing Christmas cards in December because you should have already finished. Certainly on Christmas Day, you should have all finished your Christmas cards. So, unless you're starting for next year, obviously. Okay, there we go. And then I'm just going to glue this one across. So, but if you like me, by the end of the Christmas season, I always have quite a bit of Christmas Designer Series paper. And the beauty with the Stampin' Up one is quite often they'll have the very Christmassy on the front and actually a sort of less in-your-face ones on the back. So you can then still continue to use them after Christmas. Got some glue on there. For your non-Christmas cards. Okay, and so let's put this bit together. So I have just sort of arrange these sort of these two like that. Sort of, I'm just going to glue them, to be honest. That was sort of going there, wasn't it? Let's get our little pin glue. So, I found I can spend hours working out where I want all these to go and then just throw them together, and often when I've just thrown them together they look better. So I was trying to work to like a center point, sort of where everything crosses. So let's just pop that this way. Okay, and then just going to put this one, making sure I'm putting the glue on the back, not the front. So just popping this one sort of here, going out a bit, making a bit longer, and then the other one coming down. Sorry, I'm not showing. For some reason my sheet is not straight. Oh, it is straight. It's straight. It's not straight to me, but it's straight to the camera, which is all that matters. And then I'm going to put that one here. There we are. And then I'm going to add my stamped ones. Now I'm probably going to shorten these ones a bit, so that's going, yeah. Skizzers. Because it's all going behind the bow anyway. So I'm just shortening the long ones. Okay, so I've got one coming down here. I'm just going to put that between those two. Again, sort of aiming to where they cross. And then the other one going, so one's going this way, the other one's going to be going the other way. As I say, the other way you can do it is put it together on your silicone mat and then use Glad Wrap to flip it and then stick glue on it. And then it'll all be, if you want to spend a bit extra time. And then we've got one coming here. These are the little ones, so just coming out from the centre as well. There we go. And the last little one going the other way at the bottom. There we are. So that's just going to go, just make sure we're not covering the always. There we are, a bit sticky. And then just cover it all up with your bow. here for you always. And then I'm just going to pop some dimensionals on the back of the circle. And then we're done. That's week 4 in place. So as of filming, I'm not sure what I'm doing for January's coffee and card yet. I know February is going to be out of the new catalogue and it's going to be the sheep. But unfortunately, I'm not able to order that at the moment. So I can't do it for January. So, but I'm going to pop on, once I finish this, onto the Stampin' Up website and look at the online exclusives and choose something for January's coffee and card. Right, okay, so there we go. And it is just a case of adding that to the front of your card. So, about there. Will do. I hope you've enjoyed this month, and I hope you like the cards we've made, and I look forward to seeing you in January. Enjoy your Christmas, or I hope you have enjoyed your Christmas, and I will see you soon. Bye.